Okay, and we're back with another Suzerain Kingdom of Rizia. Okay, so um, last in the last stream we basically you know, went through our first briefing. Okay, and we also went through a ceremony, a religious ceremony, where basically like there's a there's a famous religious spot in in the country, and it's basically one of the resting places of the saint, okay? And basically the head of the basically the priest of the whole country, the highest priest in the country, he helped facilitate that, okay? So he became like a channel for the saint, and he kind of like he divined something, okay? He received you know he received some sort of message, and basically it's a pretty ominous message saying that saying that there's going to be like there's three heads, but one need to be cut down. So one need to be cut down so the other two can live. Okay. So there's in the answer they mentioned two. Okay. And here, if possible, I would like to zoom out. Can I zoom out? I can't zoom out. Okay. So basically, okay, um we talk about internally in the country, we have uh our house, we have uh the Azor house, something like that, okay? And then this one, the house Saison. House Saison is the trader, the one that basically facilitate our kidnapping when we were younger, okay? And basically they're unabashedly willing to show off they're unabashedly willing to like take control of power, and they suffer because of that, okay? Now, give me a second. Royal Gold Bar, Lena's wedding ring, unlock. Ooh, there's more unlock stuff. Okay, but sorry for getting distracted. So I think if internally, I think we're gonna take out House Saison, okay? We want to try to ally with this. We're gonna try to ally with this. I forgot what's the house, but it's the House Azor or something. It starts with A, okay? And the problem is that this leads to the international setting, okay? In the regional setting, where we have Wachlin, and our country, and Palace. Now, the three of them used to be one, okay, more or less, okay. And among all the three, I think Wachlin is the most logical to cut off, because when we play Suzerain, the main story, the main campaign, right? Wachlin, if I'm not mistaken, was the country that Wachlin was the country that basically is a dictatorship. Okay, like whenever I see that, I remember the movie Dictator, played by Sacha Baron Cohen, and he kind of more or less fit that he kind of more or less fit that. Okay, so yeah, we got, if possible, my leaning is try to cut him off. Okay, and also not to mention, we our previous, the previous king, Zil, one of our country's land to them, and it seems like they've been mining a lot, which you can't really blame them. But seriously, the king gave it to him for basically for saving us. I do think that Zil, Wacklin should not ask for Zil, at least maybe some money to help stabilize ourselves. Then I can still see it, because they're not doing it for free. While for Palace, even though they used to be a part of us, I think Palace needs to Palace is okay to let them be independent, because Palace, they are doing well financially, and and if we maintain a good relationship, we are able to maintain a stable economic relationship as well. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking. So with that, that's conclude what we did one. And now let's read some of the news. Okay. New consumer industry park begins construction in Celebes. Yeah, I think like this is pretty long. I think I'll just like read the headline, okay, and then maybe some information. Welfare partly privatized. Palace promises enhanced quality service. Royal consecration ceremony reaffirms monarchy religious unity. Rail infrastructure to be expanded. Flavor a bus as grand ceremony ready for King Romus consecration. Entire country honors King Romus. RPG RRG CEO speak out against proposed mining regulations. Coronation party at Isa Palace marred by hooliganism. Rufus Gregg Royal Gossip Coronation Fashion Edition. Nothing interesting. King Romus crowned in grand ceremony. Okay. Another decade of peace. Chancellor Hegel visits Morella. Alvarez confirmed Nespia ATO membership. Gangland demands more say in street. United Consana suppresses protests in South. United Consana, if I'm not wrong, is like the United Consana. Let me double check. Yeah, it is the Romberg. The basically these the socialist communist part of this world. Okay. Occasion armed forces advance in South Zaina. Religion coronation raises question: who is Romus Toras? Okay, what about this? Read the report. Students who will walk out to protest treatment of labor hands. Yeah, I really do think we need to like improve on the labor rights, okay? Because I mentioned several times I'm a big proponent of like labor rights, okay? And basically, like if you give more rights to the labor, not only to like the local but also to the foreign, to the immigrants, like they will also like in a sense cover up the black market when the people will pay less for their work, right? And that will indirectly lead to a better indirectly lead to a better situation. Okay, let me see what else. Royal decree, we don't have anything else to do, we only have extra power. Let me see. We can train a bit extra, especially with Azaro elites. Add to training queue. Support. Not enough submarine, not enough military ship. Not enough resources. Not enough resources. What about this? Okay, that is enough. I guess we'll just keep on training them. Oops. Not enough resources. Okay, I think this much is enough. We don't have this. Tanks, we only have like... Yeah... Let me double check. 25. We need 24 more. Oh, we have enough. Okay. Be good. Wait. Anything else? Codex. Yeah, I think we're good for now. Let's continue with the next turn. The Golden Kingdom. Okay, let's start with Port Grazon. Council meeting on foreign relations. Let me just go around. Well, it's halfway consumer industry park. I do hope like this one will improve on our this one will help improve on our economy better. So this. Do hope. Do hope. Okay. Let's start with Port Grazon. It doesn't seem like there's much for us to do. The day of my foreign policy council meeting had arrived, and it was a hot one. Lesbia just joined the ATO, and that's basically, even though they were more aligned to the ATO, it's not a good idea to like totally align with them, because it kind of like makes it harder for us to like have autonomy. Like, they are gonna dictate for us, okay? And if we have autonomy, then we'll be able to like much better handle ourselves, internally. But if we align with ATO, it's gonna be a big problem later on, okay? And also not aligning with them will also be a problem. But at least we have more leeway in terms of like decision making, okay? Although we are gonna like, without a doubt, like, sometimes it's like a black and white world, okay, where we side with ATO, either we sided with the United Contana. So both sides are like the you know the allies and the socialist communism side, okay? Like, we're at the crossroad, and either one way, if we side with the allies, then the United Contana are gonna target us. If we side with the United Contana, allies are gonna target us. If we stay in the middle, we're gonna be pulled to both sides. Nobody's gonna be happy. Okay, so having to see like Lesbia, like allied with the, you know, allied with the ATO, that's something like we have to think about geopolitics. Like, this is why, like, the start of the Ukraine war, it's more or less like the Ukraine war the origin of that is more or less that, because Ukraine is like slowly starting to ally with NATO, and Russia feel threatened. Okay, like Ukraine was like like in the what they're doing is basically they're stuck in a rock in a hard place. Okay, they 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 definitely like want to lean to the NATO, but like culturally, they are they align more with Russia, and that's more or less there. But this time it's like more like they bonk something in the region, and that's what's making it hard for us like maneuver. Okay, because originally, like, we do have like ties with Rumberg, in other words, the United Contana, but now that Edo is right next to our doorsteps, we need to like be careful. The fans in Palace Resna provided little relief. I decided to take in some fresh air in the palace gardens. Abel had hired new groundskeeper who faithfully maintained his father's arrangements. Before he was my butler, my friend had explained to me that the plants and flower here were laid geographically: Rican ferns in the east, Zinnan lilies to the south, a Rambuk-style rose garden in the north. Ooh, I think like maybe this is gonna be like another thing that it's symbolic, but it also plays minor, but you still cannot ignore it. To the west was a labyrinth hedge maze made of flowers donated from the kingdom Nachburg. I spent a while wandering around, then returned to the middle of the garden, where a series of stone sculptures were surrounded by Rizian palms and succulents. To my left, I saw Vina reading a book on a bench beneath a decorative stone arch. In the date palm grove to my right, I caught a glimpse of my mother. Talk to Vina. I made my way to the stone arch and sat down next to my daughter. Oh, hello, father. Good to see you outside of the council chamber. Do you have any question? I bet you wishing you never. Sorry, Uncle Hugh made me feel uncomfortable the other day. I think it's this one here. Like number 2 and number 3 is like very like rude to Vena. Number 3 is rude to Uncle Hugo. So to Hugo. So like I think here we'll just say, would you have any questions? Like, it's very neutral. I have plenty, but I'll figure it out on my own time. This must be overwhelming for you as well. So many decisions to make. Yeah, and we don't have like the resources, either the authority and the budget for it. So lots to think about. I'm the king. Every decision I make is right decision. I beg to differ. Okay, don't you worry about me. Focus on keeping your head your head above water. It's overwhelming at times, but I trust the council to excite me. I think it's the best. I think number 3 is the best. Okay. I can imagine how it feels to hold that power. What do you think of the House delegates? What will you do to them? What will you talk to them? Of course I will. They're the best. They're the best we have for giving reasons an actual voice. I think like I say, I wouldn't like, since you're playing as the king, right? You want more power, but of course I also lean on the people, the power of the people. But since we know our clear objective, I do want to have some power. Okay, I'm leaning on number 2. I'll take their opinions into consideration, but I'm the one with the final say. The only reason I would do that is to find out the opposition weakness. I might, but I don't want anything to do with friend says on. I think like doing this, like it seems like she's taking uh she's interested in Saison. But the problem is, right, we like Saison gave me a lot of red flags, and also there's like in the in the in the divination, the premonition, we kind of like get a feeling that she's gonna be in a lot of trouble, and it could be with Mr. Saison. So I think I'll take their opinion into consideration. Any good monarch listen to the will of the public. Queen Liza always said it. Don't always bring up Queen Liza. Without doubt, she's great. But sometimes we need to forge our own way. Okay? A good monarch listens. Great monarchs are X. That's good. And if the will of the public is, and if the will of the public is for there to be no monarch at all, what then? Queen Liza wasn't a saint. She had her flaws. I think like we have to like highlight each of them. Good monarch listen, great monarchs act. Liza acted too. A clock chimed in the distance. It was time for the meeting. Enough chit chat. Let's go. I think this one is like we shouldn't like to pamper her too much. Okay, like enough chit chat. Let's go. Like if we always think like putting her first, then it's kind of seem like, hey, who's ruling the country? Me, or like are we a puppet for Vina? Sometimes we need to put our foot down. As Vina and I walked into the council chambers, we found the other councils already there, deep in conversation. A superpower suddenly taking an interest in this part of the continent? What next? All of our children will have to learn Arcasian? Republic Arcadia. Yeah, so this is without a doubt, ADO. And basically, it's the USA, right? If I'm not mistaken, in the world. Yeah, for more or less, it is. The decision wasn't made with any ill intent towards Rizia. There are greater global forces at work than what's happening in our corner of South Merkopa. What? What the superpower decide affect us, Mr. Escabel. Their intent is of no importance. You started the meeting without me? Care to catch me up? The 3 of them noticed me and fell silent. Excuse us, Your Majesty. We were discussing the recent news concerning Lesbia membership in ADO. I do know that it sounded a bit rude, but if you think about it, when they are all here, they're like it started off like casually, okay, like with what happened here. Okay, a superpower is suddenly taking an interest in this part of the continent. It's like an offhanded comment. Okay, like in a sense, it's good that they are discussing it, but they need to like respect us as well, because we are kind of like the chairman here, okay, the one that's leading all of this. So we need to catch up to speed. I agree with Mr. Escabel, there's nothing to worry about. I agree with Duchess Zara, we should be very concerned. We don't know anything about the situation yet. We have to wait to see what happens. If we say this, if we say number 3, it's more like we're just a reactionary. If we say we... But then if we say this, then she's hoping like to have more military, which we don't have the budget now. Building up the economy, well, building up the education, building up the healthcare, and then economy. Those 3 are the pillars that support the country. If we build on our military without having the 3 foundations, like, we'll be easy crumble. If we don't have education, what future does the military have? If we do not have healthcare, how do we have a military? If we do not have any finance economy, how can we support the military? So that's why, like, right now, I'm focusing on the 3 pillars first. Right now I think like maybe we can just say, even though I agree with Azaro, but from there she might lead us to, oh, you know the dangers but you don't want to do anything. That kind of like ruins our reputation with them. So I feel like say we don't know anything about the situation yet. A reasonable response, Your Majesty. Respectfully, Your Grace, there's nothing reasonable about allowing Akasia and its puppets to spread its instability across the globe. What would you have us do, Duchess Zaro? We're on shaky ground as it is with Lesbia. Of course we should act sensibly, but we need to show the Republic and its new friends that Rizia can hold its own. Mrs. Warner, will this new alliance have an economic consequence? I think number 1 is pretty good. I think I'm gonna have to ask everybody. I'm sure it will, Your Majesty. Our most significant economic relationship with Lesbia is our partnership in the Mathium International Trade Zone. Having Acacia behind them might well embolden Lesbia to push a larger share in the midst, but they also have Valkson and Morella to contend with. Lesbia using Acacia backing to strengthen its economic ties with Palace could also have a negative ramification, especially when it comes to the new gas field. Ah, yeah, like we did found a new gas field like in the contested border. Lorenzo, what are our current relationship with Lesbia? I'll categorize them as neutral but frosty, Your Majesty. Twin Lizard diplomacy kept us on good terms with Lesbia for a time after their transition to democracy, but things were beginning to sour a bit even before the palace conflict. We still maintain embassies in each other countries, but I haven't met with a foreign military since before the election of their new Prime Minister, Alvarez. Yeah, Alvarez is pretty sneaky as well. Ego, does this development pose a threat to the Rizian monarchy? Not an immediate one, Your Majesty, but we must be watchful. We have seen occasion-backed revolutions succeed in Rika and Zena. We do suspect the Saisons were communicating with Arcadia prior to the 1926 uprising. Kennel's ATO membership was already cause of concern 5 years ago. With Lesbia in the alliance as well, Acacia influence is present to both north and south. There is a great potential for destabilization. On the other hand, Your Grace, Acacia has friendly ties with at least one monarchy. You may recall that President Dwight Walker actually boasts Rombergia heritage. What are the security implications of this alliance, Duchess? We can definitely expect Arcasian military to increase their presence in Lesbia. Lesbia already houses Acasian military personnel. Air and naval bases cannot be far behind. I can't say for certain that all that firepower will be directed against us in case of a conflict, but it does enhance the threat of Lesbia, and yes, potentially Palace poses to our kingdom. Alright, what do you all think I should do? Everyone began talking at once. Hugo motioned for silence. In my view, Rizia should bolster our alliances with our fellow monarchies, like Romberg and the rest of the Guild of Allies for commercial exchange. Now, this is quite like a gamble, Because if one of the monarchy in that alliance fell, it's gonna create like a domino effect, more or less like the Arab Spring. Okay, building stronger bonds with them will not only enrich us, but it will also counterbalance ATO's democratic influence. Yeah, unless like somebody in the alliance screw up, but he have a good point. This is true, but you can't rely on grace to come to our aid in conflict. For that, we will need to build up military and defense capabilities. I say it's more crucial to form neutral relationship with our other neighbors. If Latvia become even more of an economic juggernaut in our region, it'll upset the balance of power. And I don't think we should ignore the opportunity to thaw our relationship with Latvia itself. I, for one, would rather handle them as a friend than a foe. Agree. Any thoughts, Vina? We shouldn't ask Vina first. I'd like to get a full picture of Rizia's geopolitical situation before offering my own opinion. I think this is the best. Certainly, Your Majesty, that's what today's for. Lorenzo walked to the chamber's back wall and pulled down a map of southeastern Merkopa. What shall we discuss first? We need to talk about Wacklin. Of course. Lorenzo rearranged some of the papers he was holding. Relationship with our one-time allies have been turbulent at best since the Civil War. The international unpopularity of current President Viktor Smolak. Yep, it's the same guy. It's the same guy, right? It's the same guy, right? Yes, I remember this guy. I remember like he just basically like, he didn't do it right in front of us, but like he was ordering, oh, kill those people. Like I remember him, man. He tried to look presentable, but he's a damn dictator with an iron fist. Well, I won't say iron fist. It's more like a cheeky little rat. Rizia wouldn't be here without Wachtler. We can't abandon her. Yeah, we can. It's not a good look for us to remain linked to them. All I ask is that Wachtler return to Zil as promised. After that, I'm happy to cut ties. My father made a deal with Wachtler on good faith. Wachtler has reflected, I think the number 3 is the best. The return is scheduled for the end of 1952, Your Majesty. Wachtler access to Zil's land and resources help bring it out of recession after the war. Smolak will have a difficulty letting go such a valuable asset. Can we count on him to honor the terms of treaty? Logical. What about people of Zil? Surely they can't wait for the land to return to Rizia. I will act diplomatically with President Smolak. We can sweeten the deal if necessary. I will appease. What about the people of Zil? Half of the country native Rizian population fled during the Civil War, like the Queen's mother's parents, I recall. Among those who were stubborn enough to stay, opinion is divided. We have to remember that it's been almost 25 years. Yeah, that's like, if it's 10 years, I can somehow understand it, but 25 years is pretty long, but at least it's not as bad as like 100 years. I will act diplomatically with President Smolak. We can swing the deal. Okay, ask him, can we count on him? Smolak is not as weak as he seems. It will take a great deal of time and effort before our firepower matches his. He may act bold. Currently, their foreign ministry is working in close cooperation with us, and President Smolak has promised to honor the treaty. In the meantime, any perceived aggression on our part may only give him an excuse to break it. Can the international community be relied on to intervene if Smolak break a signed pact? Given how many countries depend on waxed oil, either directly or indirectly, I wouldn't be so sure about that. Yeah, oil is the root of all evil. That's what I would like to say. The funding Wesley has received from United Cortana may also have Smollett believing he can act with impunity. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say we will appease him. Moving on. When is my next diplomatic visit to Westland? As a matter of fact, you are slated for a trip to Zil at the end of this year, for the second to last Waxed Rizzian Friendship Day. That name's gotta be a kind of joke. President Smolak fancies himself the humorous type, Your Majesty. Yeah, he's a joker. Wish that he become like a stand-up comedian than this. Friendship Day is a celebration that has been held in Zils each year since the treaty was signed. Since Smolak took over, he used the occasion to trot out all the shiny new tanks Backlund's oil money and United Consignment funding has brought him. Your presence will at the very least remind him of the occupation's temporary nature. I'll make him remember by any means necessary. I'll talk to him, maybe we can come to a productive agreement. I'm looking forward to it. I see no reason why Rizia went, Number 2. An admirable impulse. But this is unfortunately not the ceremony. This is unfortunately not only a ceremony. This is unfortunately only a ceremony, not a diplomatic talk. For now, I propose we move on before briefing. I got a feeling like he's gonna make us so angry to the point that, you know, he's gonna force us to be angry at him. Isn't Palace the topic of the day? I was just about to bring up the Grand Duchy. Your father confided in me about the meeting with Duke Reinhardt, but he never told me what came of it. I still don't know why Axel even bothered. He knows full well that Rizian think of his so-called country. He wanted a renewed relationship between Rizia and Palace, and so do I. It's refreshing to hear you say that. I myself advise your father to speak with the new Duke of Palace, to no avail of course. Compared to his brother, Nolma, Axel Reinhardt seems to be more amenable to a thaw between our countries. He wasn't even born when Rizia and Palace were fighting, and I suspected he is beginning to see the disadvantage of staying disconnected to Lesbia. Tell me more about the current relationship between Palace and Lesbia. The Grand Duchy has been heavily dependent on the Republic of Lesbia since 1920s, Your Majesty. I think if this is true, we might, create a ramp, like an off-ramp from them, like from relying on Lesbia and ATO, and then lower it down, join us, if we play our cards correctly. Our northern neighbor has taken extensive advantage of the natural gas reserves of the southern Polynesian coast. Lesbia has relocated a number of its major corporations to Palace in exchange for extremely generous tax benefits. In addition to the resulting income, Palace has access to Lesbian technology and military equipment, which at the moment surpasses our own. Palace still have Rizian-speaking population, right? How influential are they? They are a minority, but a vocal one. They believe in the preservation of the Rizian language, but they still consider themselves Polynesian at heart. Duke Nolma proposed Rizian ban was a bridge too far for them. They seem to heavily favor his brother. Where's Vogsland in all this? Does Palace have any relationship with the Republic? Vogsland, I'm not sure about that, but I do know that when we were playing in the main campaign, it's more of like they are our neighbor but distant neighbor. And from the looks of the map, it's more or less the same as well. Most Valgish Polynesians were and still vehemently against their ancestral homelands turned to socialism. In turn, the Republic of Vogsland has had nothing to do with its former colony since Reinhardt's decision to seek protection from Lesbia. Since I did finish it, but I don't know why this game didn't keep my progress of finishing the main game. I wonder if there's some choices that we made in the main game, it affected this playthrough, Back in the 20s, there were few attempts at marshalling support for a Voxlandian socialist revolution in the Grand Duchy. None bore fruit. I'm beginning to get a good grasp of the situation there. Are you leaning towards any particular diplomatic strategy regarding Palace, Your Majesty? I was open to crucify your Palace before, but Lesbia agents might make that moment. No. I bear no ill will towards Palace. You are right that a closer relationship will be advantageous, yes. A Voxelian social revolution, you say? Is it too late to start one over there now? We should play on the sympathies of Rizian speaking segment of the population, sway them over to our side. Like, number one, this. Number two, this. Like, I do feel, like I say, we want to create an off-ramp for Palace to join us back. Lorento or Norden. It will, Your Majesty, especially if we need to negotiate the ownership of the gas field dear Elena mentioned during her briefing. Yes, exploration are still ongoing, but there's a good indication that both Rizin and Palace could have a claim to a new resource. Should I continue? I haven't heard much of the countries of the former Empire of Meridia. Do you want to discuss Morella or Dirtia? Let's start in Morella first. You already heard about the new left-wing ruling coalition, right? Enlighten me. After years of infighting, the country's left-leaning parties miraculously united in time to win this year's election. The politician who managed this feat now Morella's new prime minister, Alma Sultana, or as she might prefer it, Comrade Alma Sultana. Comrade? Wait, let's just read her a bit. Okay, she's a Millennialist. Like, I do want to lean more to the Millennialist side, but not to the point that we're gonna be taken out. Hugo Grimace. Lesbia and ADO are enough of a threat without the Millennialists knocking at our back door. Arcadian liberalism is far worse to threat to our way of life than Millennialism. You're right. Both. As long as we remain good terms with Morella, I don't care about their country's political leanings. This is just a bit too. As I think we should just say both occasional liberals and Millennialists hate everything we stand for. Neither ideology respects the sovereignty of a monarch. I see them as two sides of a coin. In this case, the Voxelian socialism we ought to be worried about, not Millennialism. Voxelian socialism? Okay, no problem. It's more or less the same. Morella doesn't stand a chance entering Contaner's security pact, not with its current level of poverty. But there are rumors that Prime Minister Sultana has been arranging meetings with Voxelian Chancellor Emmerich Hegel. Oh, that guy. If I'm not wrong. I can't stop laughing. Because I remember, this is the guy that during like the United Nations, like in this world, like he literally got angry and he took his shoe and banged it on the table. Like, Hegel, never change. Please don't change. Like, I do hope you do that again. And how are our relationship with Bogdan at the moment? Neutral at best, Your Majesty. As we all know, House Toras has historical ties to the late Vagos Empire, but Chancellor Hegel isn't exactly brimming with nostalgia for that era. So far, our trade relationship with Morella have not been affected, nor has our partnership in the international trade zone. But Morella and Vagos teaming up in that arena could potentially be more of a concern than Lesbia. Damn, we have enemies on all sides. As for Morella's neighbor Dirtia, our relationship with them have become strained since the country's conversion to theocracy. However, we still maintain a number of cooperative agreements, including our acceptance of Dirtian migrants as labor hands. I must say that their supreme wiseman, Yorga Azmal, did not approve of our ban on Golconda's pilgrims to Rizian holy sites. Yes, His Majesty and I discussed that ban prior to our ceremony in Plavo. We did, and it struck me as unfair. The Golcondas no. I have a reservation about it myself, but I trust the Grand Wiseman decision. I think we should just say it. I have a reservation about it myself, but I trust the Grand Wiseman decision. As do I. I wonder though why he has not put similar restriction on Destruentis. Desnuris. They may have been swayed, gentlemen, but Golconis and Desnuris are both our brethren. I'm merely worried about the growing number of Golconis visitors at sites like Plavo and their rather physical interpretation of our religion. And we're alienating the truth Ruhis's believers. I will point that our stance on Durian Golconis is far gentler than Morella's. Yes, Morella hasn't allowed Durian of any kind into the country since Mathium invasion of 1915, though the Durians most certainly have tried Mathium. Okay, it's more or less like a minor religion war. I sympathize with Morella. The Golcondes lunatics should. Wait. Yeah, the Golcondes are the one that is more aggressive. The Dasnuris is still okay. I sympathize with Morella. Those Golcondes lunatics should stay in their own country. Pilgrimage play a significant role in Golconism. Unfortunately, whether to holy site in Rizia, Morella, or the Swordish Archcentury of Dare. Which is why the Golconis bans that have been implemented over the last few decades, including ours, have been met with occasionally violent resistance from the Durians. Say what you will about the Durians' belief, you can't argue with their weaponry. It's part of their warrior culture, Duchess. Their practice is centered on martial discipline and physical strength. I think frankly they scare me. They are not as dangerous as they might seem, like Wackland. Dirty is geopolitically isolated. There are few allies aside of the bluish population in Wackland. I should mention that Durian isolation is partially self-imposed. They are suspicious of nations that do not share their particular values. Among other things, these include a hardline stance on drugs and alcohol. That's interesting to know, but I won't be adapting Rizia's policies to suit Duria's wishes. That's true. Like we need to maintain our sovereignty. Are Rizia's drug laws strict enough for their liking? But Ruhism permits alcohol. It is even used in our rituals, right, Grand Wiseman? I think this is good. This is just like to us. Sal nodded slowly. However, not all Ruhises agree that substances should be used for one's secular enjoyment. I'm sure even Saint Ruhek permitted himself the occasional glass of wine outside of prayer hours. What's going on in Swordland? Yeah. This is our previous one. Not that the colony has decided to retire, I mean. His successor, Eval Alfonso, from everything I've heard, he solves exact opposite. This is us. Wait, is it? Wait, let me double check. He is particularly famed for winning Tacoin Souls and the USB other. I think this is where, like, if we completed the first game, then like this is where it's gonna change. I remember the first. Okay, I forgot which one. Either way, the second, third, or was it the fourth? It's pretty early on because like Saul. Okay, Saul is like it's like the father of Swordland. Okay, so it's like very very dangerous. Okay, and then I think maybe we are the second. I think we are the second. Or was it the third? But it's very close. But then this could be us. I kind of forgot. I heard he's the soul's exact opposite. In what way? Think sweeping privatization and tax cuts. Soul is forced out of power, more women in prominent position, although he has yet to pass the kind of liberatory reforms our beloved Liza did. Is that us? Because I don't remember like our portrait though. Speaking of Liza, she's the one who first opened trade negotiation with Swordsland back when it was still a kingdom. But Soul's disdain for the monarchy kept us from continuing down that path. The Alfonso administration, meanwhile, has no such qualms about royalty. In fact, his new development minister, Gus Manger, has already had personal business dealings in Rizia. Our friend Mr. Montoro of Rizian Royal Guard has been making overtures to the Swordish oligarchy, it seems. Birds of crusty ostentation plumage flock together. Mr. Montoro. Not as see it. Mr. Montoro reminds me like another fat cat in Swordland as well. I don't like your tone, Hugo. Rusty the Swordist Orgoths are self-made men. I just like, I don't think so. What does Swordland want from us? I'm not sure if I trust Alphonse or his minister, but I'm open to proposal. What does Swordland want from us? That hasn't been disclosed yet. The country already has abundant gas resources. They could be looking to shore up their central bank with gold in the wake of Alfonso's privatization spree. I'll contact you once Alfonso has agreed on a date for his visit. Excuse me. That's everything, isn't it, Mr. Escobar? Lorenzo turned away from the mat towards me. There's one more country we haven't discussed yet, Romberg. Is there anything to discuss? They're our allies. I always expected Beatrice to turn on me after Lena died. I'm amazed she stayed allied to us. Yeah, because like Lena is from Romberg. I wouldn't be surprised that, she hold a grudge for like not keeping her safe. Yes, for the time being, Queen Beatrice and her country are firmly allied with Rizia. Miss Werner already mentioned the large amount of gold we export to the country through the strategic port Grim. We also have a deal allowing Romberg's ships priority access to our ports in Port Drazon and Monkis. We are in essence their gateway to the Antician Sea. Military speaking, the alliance doesn't amount to much. Romberg will supply us with arms in case of war, but neither of our country officially obligated to come to the others' aid. Friendly but not allies. What are the rumors of Romberg interfering in Westland? Is the Queen plotting anything against Swordsland? Yeah, there is. I heard Romberg has been getting closer to Acacia. Does Romberg want anything else from us? Maybe not from us, but the country's energy needs are insatiable. The Queen's interested in any country with oil or natural gas resources. In other words, if we do start drilling in that new field of Alice, I expect Her Excellency will soon come calling. That's presumptuous of her. There are plenty other potential uses for that grass. Becoming one of Romberg's main energy supplier would definitely strengthen our partnership. Not true though. You're getting ahead of yourself. Ownership of that field hasn't been decided yet. What is Romberg even using all this energy for? They've been manufacturing a lot more of KA-74 lately. I heard stories of the experimental weapons that could put Acacia to shame. I will remind the Council all of our prior conversation regarding ATO and the necessity of strengthening our bond with other monarchies, especially Romberg. Fortunately, we have the living evidence of that bond right here at this table. All eyes turned to Vena. She looked up from the notes she had been taking. Yes, don't worry. Aunt Bia still dotes on me. I'm like the daughter that she never had. Good. See to it that you remain in Her Excellency's good graces. She's a human being, Uncle Hugo, not a diplomatic tool. The Queen is still fond of me as well. She knows how much I love Lena. Yeah. The Queen still holds me in her affection. She's aware of the love I harbor for Lena, a love that transcends even her passing. That's a bit too wishful thinking. She's a human being. I think like here we're respecting her, and in turn we are also like nudging her like, hey, we rely on you as well. It's okay. I understand Uncle Hugo's point. I'll be sh- I'll be sure to keep up corresponding with Aunt Bea. Hugo glanced at the clock. Before I conclude, there's still the matter of His Majesty's stance on Lesbia's ATO membership. Do you have any further thoughts on that? My counselors look at me in expectation. Hugo has the right idea. Aligning more closely with the Rumber and Grace will protect us from Arcasia. Yes. I like Eleanor's suggestion. Stealing new economic pacts with other Merkopan countries will help us become a regional power in our own right. Yeah, but this is not bad. I'm right now number 1, number 2 is pretty good. I agree with Lucida that we cannot look weak in Lesbia and Valk's eyes. Nah. Laurento, you're right that it would behoove us to grow closer to Lesbia and ATO of making enemies of them. It's either 1 or 2. But I think the best would be this because we still want to... Okay, the best outcome, the one that can give us the best outcome is probably number 1. But let me just open the codex. I want to find Grace. Okay, Grace. Romberg, Rizia. Okay, if it's Romberg, then we can still hold on to that. I think we'll go for this. Aligning more closely with Romberg and Grace will protect us from Acacia growing sphere of influence. You guys the right idea. Aligning more closely with... Okay. Indeed it will, Your Majesty. I did have one more proposition before we adjourn. One fairly risk-free way of increasing our geopolitical footprint without losing any country's favor is to expand Rizia's soft power. Yes. We have also spoken of the need to stoke pro-Rizian sympathies of both Zil and Palace. I would therefore suggest funding branches of Ariana Toras Association in both of those regions. What does the ATA do? It's a government-funded organization that promotes region culture abroad. It's currently active in Ramberg and a few more other Grace members. Its satellites organize Rizian language classes, concerts, art exhibition, traditional festivals. Yes, I think this is needed. I myself volunteer with that ATA as an ambassador for a time. I can vouch for its integrity. How do you think it will be helpful in Zil? If I may, Your Majesty, there are children in Vena's age in Zil who have spent their whole lives building their website. He shouted quietly. If the handover goes as planned, we will need to remind Zil's children of their true heritage. And if not, we'll need as many Rizian sympathizers on the inside as we can get. Yeah, this is like number 1 priority right now. Okay, like I think this is something that we have to focus on. If we do not, we're probably gonna be screwed when it comes to like Zillion, especially Zillion. We want to get back because there's gold there. Why would there be a need for it in Palace? If you truly intend to reconcile with Palace, strengthening pro-Rizian, yes. It's also a failsafe in case reconciliation doesn't work out. The more Palesians like us, the less inclined they will be to attack us. Agree. I can see the use for such a program, but do we have the budget for it? We do, but expanding ATA into both Zil and Palace will be costly indeed. I like the idea. It could even give us an edge in the upcoming trade deals. I would advise you to choose between the 2 regions. Why not both? Yeah, we need both. We need both. Because we need to, like I say, I want both, like for Zil, we need them to give back the gold mine. While for Palace, we need them to like off-ramp from Lesbia, come back to us. So I think this is it. Yeah, number 3. We have to fund both of them. There's no need for frugality. Let's expand to ATN, both Zil and Palace. I heard a sharp intake of breath from Elena. Very well, Your Majesty. I'll allocate the funds. Thank you for your wise counsel, Lorento. Is that all? I'm sorry to lose my focus. Thank you for your wise counsel, Lorento. Thank you for listening, everyone. I do hope I haven't been too much of a bore. Not at all, Mr. Escobar. It's a privilege to share in your expertise. Now that you mention it, I'll try to make it a minute more concise. 1 minute longer? I think number one is the best. That is like, there is a lot of information, but those are important information. Anytime Your Majesty, he rolled out the map back up and collected his belongings. Your Majesty, may I have a brief word? The royal decree on sovereign trade transition and royal clemency still awaits your signature. The delay is causing administrative challenges, and the public is starting to remark on it. Allowing the decree to go unsigned is a serious breach of tradition, one that risks eroding foundation of Rizian monarchy and calling your very authority as king into question. Okay, we need to do that. Okay. What sovereign transition? Okay. The decree slipped my mind as it missed a mirror duty of crowns. Okay. Tradition or not, I'll refuse to begin my work with the release of 500,000 prisoners. I've decided not to sign the decree. Thank you for bringing this up to my attention. I will see what I can do. Okay. I thank you in turn for taking my advice seriously. The importance of tradition in our kingdom cannot be overstated. That is all from my side. Auntie, this one is like too chummy, and then it could be like not respecting. Until next time, Your Grace. Farewell, Your Majesty. I walk out of the chambers, glad to be done for the day. Okay. Royal decrees. Wait, where is it? Sovereign trade and clemency. Okay. The kingdoms solemnly affirm the transition of the crown within Toras lineage from King Valero and King Romus. This decree upholds the reverberation of the monarchy, ensuring the continuity and stability of the Toras dynasty. Concurrent with this auspicious transition, King Romus, in his inaugural of the clemency, extended the royal pardon to 500 individuals convicted of minor offences. Yes. Okay, we are not gonna use anything yet. We're gonna do it like at the end of the turn. Let's read. Navasa Allfuel. A significant chapter in Rizia oil history is drawing to a close. The Navasa oil field at False Data, an instrumental asset since its discovery in 1895, faces an imminent shutdown. Despite the depletion of its once abundant reserves, the field has continually played a role in Rizia's oil demand. Under the unwavering management of Rizian oil gas, the field has stood to the test of time, but nature's limits are becoming evident. -1 energy. When one door closes, another one opens. Oh, dang. Dang, we really need more energy, man. Let's read the report. All workers commemorate closing field. Dedicate that while some will keep their job for foreseeable future as operations wind down, many are unemployed and have nowhere to go. Yeah, this is why like, you know, having like this one here, the industrial park, that's where like people move towards. Okay, we need to like provide the people with jobs. Excavation promises touristic and agricultural renaissance. The recent uncovering of vast resonates said beacon of cultural tourism. Yeah, I think this is good. Allies of heritage, blah blah blah. Rifle production halted in false data of the incident. Experience of malfunctions. Stalling weapons production for next week. The cause to be looked into, but the plan may indicate that due to the ongoing low resources, few workers. Maybe like from there, like they're gonna come to here. Saudi delegation to visit Port Raison. Gosmanger. He's basically the financial guy, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not the economic guy, but the financial guy. Okay. Include Elena in trade talks. The Swordfish delegation is expected to bring me up to bring up the reopening of Swordfish Rizia trade relations between the upcoming visit. While Treasury Elena Werner would normally be present for such a discussion, the Development Minister government has requested to speak the king alone. About Gus, if I'm not mistaken, he also like gave us like some money. Okay, like some investments. This is so hard because I got a feeling if we meet with him alone, then we're probably gonna have like an opportunity to make some money, okay, which is always good. And I think like it's a good idea for me to expand it on here, okay? But mm, not sure though, man. Uh, you know what? You know what? I'll have her stay behind. We save. No. But we do have checkpoint. Okay, so we have her stay behind. I do think this is the smartest choice. This is the better choice because it allows us to like we're definitely gonna work on behalf of the country, right? But sometimes it's like he might open up more choices. Okay, we are gonna have her stay behind. Oh boy. Oh, this news. Rufus Grad Royal Grasslet. Ball season begins. Geopolitics. Federation of Anraka trade ties with Ostiok and Nalipurna. Not alike movement in a group grows. Confederacy of Vedanism faces democratic forces. I think I need to read some of them. Okay. Confederacy of Vedanism faces democratic forces. East State Confederacy. Hmm. Yeah, this is gonna affect Greece. This one's gonna affect Greece a little bit. Okay, Port Greece on. Actually, I haven't eaten my dinner yet. Let me see. Oh dang, it's still like it's raining here. Well, it just stopped raining, but it was raining for quite some time, and I wanted to like order some food, but the delivery fee when it's raining is like it's really expensive. So I've been putting it on hold for like a couple of hours now. I haven't taken my dinner. My royal yacht Rizania smoothly cleaved through the waters of Zapana River Delta. I stood on the deck next to Ewald Alfonso, president of Saltland. After hours of diplomatic formalities, Palace Resna and the sea breeze felt amazing. Alfonso removed his jacket and looked up admiringly at the white cable bridge that connected Port Raison to House. What a great idea this boat tour of yours. It would be a pity to spend our entire visit trapped in a stuffy old palace. He rushed to correct himself. A beautiful, elegant old palace, Your Majesty. Seriously. Is this the guy that we played? The ship's horn let out a blast as we passed beneath the bridge. Show Alfonso the new town. Show Alfonso the old town. I think like we should show the old town because like at the very least, if we show the old town like hey, we're it's like we're standing firm. New town is like we're trying to kowtow to them. I led the soldiers present to the southern side of the deck for a better view of the old town. The late afternoon sun perfectly illuminated the spire of Zilba Arc Sanctuary. Terrific, the way you preserve this historic building, but sometimes the past can be a trap. I'm happy your country finally had a president who understands that. If my grandmother hasn't made those trade deals between Rizia and Swalia, our country will still be strangers. Trust me, I know. I got hundreds of history of waiting on me every day. I think it's better to say number one. I owe a lot to Colonel Saul, but it's high time Scotland move on. The Colonel was no great fan of monarchy, as you recall. Me? I'm more flexible. For such an anti-monarchist, he behaved an awful a lot like a king. Yeah, that is true. But we shouldn't say that because we do not want to like offend him. Yeah, we don't want to offend. Nor was my fault. You know, democracy. You and I have much in common. Countries will bring different politics can still find common ground. Yeah, I think this is good. Gus Manger emerged from the ship's cabin clutching a bottle and grinning triumphantly. Well, they have it. I tried control exactly once from a resident chef in Holsworth who smuggled it over in his steamer trunk. Haven't stopped thinking about it ever since. He turned to me apologetically. Our mutual friend Rusello, man. Rusello? Who's Rusello? Oh, Rusty. Mentioned your yacht had an excellent wine cellar, and well, I couldn't help myself. Mr. Montero was not my friend. I appreciate if you didn't go rooting around shit for this. Rusty has certainly sampled enough wine to know what he's talking about. If you're that impressed by Cantarovo, I'd hate to think of the swill. Ooh, I think number four. Number four. A man of exquisite taste. I like you already. A toast to exquisite taste then, Butler. Table. Excellent choice, Mr. Manger. Please allow me. This should taste of cherry and black pepper with a faint hint of leather. We raise our glasses. A Morgna West score. I remember this. The new beginnings and new prosperity. We drank. Gus sighed with pure pleasure. Alfonso expression bordered on disbelief. All apologies to Geralt of Ribery. But this is in fact the best one I ever tasted. Usual, I know certain storage movers and shakers would kill to have access to a beverage like this caliber. Oh dang! This is like an economic trade. Oh dang! But I do feel bad that we didn't bring I didn't like our minister along. But at least like with this, we are able to like be more basically it's a guy's night out. Ah yes, the free trade of Rizian wine for Swordfish whiskey. It's a good way as any to get our relationship flowing again, if you pardon the pun. That can't be the only reason you travel all this way. That can't be the only reason you travel all this way. Call it an imperative. Alfonso opened his attaché and pulled out a bottle of Ellery Maroon 30-year-old. I'll turn to be the connoisseur. Your Majesty, Butler, 3 tumblers, no ice. Pable approaches with 3 glasses, just a small swig for me, to make sure my people aren't getting an inferior product. Ay, if I didn't know, I say you two were trying to get me drunk. I think we should say this. Okay? One does not merely get drunk or Ellery Maroon 30-year-old. One floats. I'll do the toast this time. How do you people say it? Aproso. We drank the flavor rush over my tongue, wood smoke and a forest moss tapering off with sweet silky smooth. It's heavenly. It's great, but I better not have any more. That's liquid gold you're leaving on your glass. Since your treasury crone isn't here to put a damper on proceedings, should we get straight to it? We treat women like equals here. This is just a bit too much, okay? Like we're holding the high ground. Don't call Mrs. Crone, Miss Werner a crone. She's one of my most capable chancellors. Gotta put our foot down, man. Alfonso gave Gus a look of warning. I apologize on behalf of my minister. I told him to leave his baser impulses at home. I assure you, Scotland is making progress on the status of women. Some of my most trusted ministers belong to the fairer sex. Thank you, Alfonso. Is it? Let me double check. Suzerain. Okay, let me see. Suzerain. I want to see who do we play. Kind of forget. Suzerain. Who do we play as? Let me see. Suzerain. How does Suzerain work? Oh, Anton Rain. Okay, now I remember. Anton is the one that we played. So it's go from Saul to Anton, which is us, then now to Eval. Okay. It's all a boilerplate, really. Give me a moment. I want to grab something to bite. Just give me a bite. I'm hungry, like I say. I haven't taken my dinner. And also like reading a lot, and like commentating makes me a bit hungry. Let me grab my jerky. So I thought so it is like it is like scripted that Anton is gonna lose the re-election. But at least we did good under him. Mm. Man, I'm still hungry. Okay. Let me just wash it down. Okay, let's go. The government of Rizia and Scotland, recognizing the importance of promoting economic growth and cooperation and desire to enhance their mutual interests, conducted in a manner that is consistent with their respective domestic laws and regulation. Keep listening. The parties shall agree to cooperate in the development and implementation of sanitary measures. Keep listening. Elimination of tariffs to be completed within. Oh, hell. Oh, keep listening. Elimination of tariffs. That's like, ensuring that respective customs procedures and other trade-related measures are transparent, efficient, and predictable. Keep listening. In equal amounts of 100 tons of wine and 50 barrels of whiskey per year, subject to availability. Wait. Ensuring respective customs procedures and other trade-related measures are transparent and predictability. In equal amounts of 100 tons of wine. Wait. Wait, what? Yes. Equal amounts, demand for Rizian wine in Solent is far higher than that for Scottish whiskey in Rizia. Good catch. Demand in Rizia will skyrocket once Ellery Maroon hits the market, trust me. Definitely expect to see our boss serving Swedish here. Yeah, sure, now we can get to the real reason why you're here. No, our wine is superior to the whiskey. It has that wouldn't be fair to us. No, sorry. Hmm. Let me see again. Let me see again. Let me see again. In equal amounts, 100 tons of wine and 50 barrels of whiskey. Ensuring the respective custom procedures, other trade-related measures are transparent, efficient, and predictable. In equal amounts of 100 tons. I think this, like, although it is good, but it's gonna bring us down because it's 100 ton to 50 barrels. One barrel, okay, how much is one barrel? How much does a barrel weigh? It's 45. Oh my god. Our wine is superior. Okay, this one, like, our wine is superior to whiskey. It won't be fair to us. No, our wine, series of looks passed between Gus and Apollo. They turn back to me. A shame you're my ship, but I do have one more proposal for you. The yacht lingered at the mouth of the Pana Delta as the sun lowered in the sky, turning the water from turquoise to gold. As much as Sortland valued citizen would appreciate your wine, we believe there's something else that would be more stunning. He gestured at the surrounding, then down at the short-sleeved shirt he was wearing. Have you thought about Rizia's untapped tourism potential? Yes, many times. Our beaches put Latvia to shame. They are true diamonds in the rough. I know for a long time, international trade swayed away from Valenquist coast because of the delicate situation of Palace. He pronounced the last word as pales. Yes, relationship Palace has been shaken for years. I think this one we should not be too arrogant. Like, number one is okay. Yes, relationship with Palais have been shaky for years. He didn't seem to notice my correction. My point is that it might finally be the time to bring your undeveloped shores to life. I took the liberty of hiring a designer to draw this up. He reached inside his jacket and pulled out a sheet of paper with a sketch on it. I recognized the beach depicted. It was a picturesque stretch of the sand in Monkis, not far from the palace where I grew up. Oh dang, this one I think I need to like load last checkpoint. I need to bring her. They're just too much of an asshole. Oh no! Oh no! Can I load? Oh yeah. Maybe here. This is it. I really think I need to bring her. This is it. No. Oh god. We have to go through the talk again. We have to go through a talk again. I should have bring her along. But that is so unfair. Yeah, we have to go through this again. I'm gonna skip, okay? With the Vena. Okay. Um, they're the best hope we have for giving them a visual voice. I'll take the opportunity into consideration. I'm the one, the final say. A good monarch listen, a good one Alex. Not chit chat. Probably have to go this. You have to catch me up. We don't know what's going to happen. Will this alliance have consequences? How does this development pose a threat? Alright, what do you think I should do? Need to get a full picture. Wackland. Rizia wouldn't be here without Wellen. Return Zil. Can we count him to honor? What about people of Zil? Surely they can't wait for the return to Rizia. Moving on. When is my next diplomatic weapon? That name's gotta be some kind of a joke. I'll talk to him. Maybe we can have a productive. Is that palace topic of the day? I still don't know why Axel is even bothered. He knows the future of Rizian. Your father do. He wanted to renew a relationship. Tell me more about current relationship with Lesbia. Sorry, mom just entered. Vogsland. Okay, here what did I ask? I bear no ill will towards Palace. You're right that a closer relationship should be advantageous. Okay, this one's correct. Moredia. Morella. Enlighten me. Both Occasion and Malenovis hate everything. Man, we are going through a lot. Gold Condes are like, I don't like Gold Condes. I would prefer Desnoris than Gold Condes. Do you have a good culture? They scare me. What's going on in Swordland? I don't like your tone, Hugo. Rusty and Swordish oligarchs are self-made men. I respect that. What does Swordland want from us? That smart Queen Witches will get further with this kind of celebration efforts than outright hostility. So our alliance, I think we didn't choose the right one. There's presumptions of her. There's plenty of that gas. Okay, I'm trying to like retrace my steps. She's a human being. Race. What does the ATA do? Palace. Okay, this one we have to like go for both. Okay, we need that. Thank you for your wise, Lorento. I'll see what I can do. Until next time, Grace. Okay. Here. Let me double check some of my decree. Enacted. I did build. Okay, where's the overview? Policy. Diplomacy. Situation. ATA Operation Pilot. Okay, we got both of it. We needed that. Oops. Give me a second. This is Swordland. Where's our one? Oh. Let's read. Oh, this one we read. Okay. Here we need to sign one of it, which is sovereignty transition. Okay. Where do we need to go? Where one door closes, another opens. Okay, this one, we need to include her. They really were trying to play some shenanigans, man. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that they are trying to play some shenanigans. Okay, this one handling. Ascaris gas field reserve alert. The iconic Ascaris gas field, a beacon of Rizia's energy prowess since 1921, is sending distress signals. Recent reports indicate dwindling reserve at an alarming rate. While it has been a consistent contributor to Rizia's energy matrix, its operational future is now precarious. Without immediate and targeted surveys, followed by potential offshore excavation, the gas field is projected to cease operation in the coming years. The kingdom will find a solution by decree. Ooh, this is bad because that's gonna affect our energy. Because if not, we have to like make our own. We have to buy energy from outside. Okay. Give me a moment. Let me grab a few more bites. Um, for me, I will just continue until like where Michi comes in. New beginnings. Can be the only reason. This is more sit for me to make sure my people aren't. They're trying to get me drunk. It's great, but I wouldn't have any more. Wait. Uh. Okay, don't call her crone. Ah, there she is. Give me a moment. Okay. Pardon my absence, gentlemen. Despite my foggish ancestry, I never warm up to boat travel. The draft agreement seems sound, but I had a question about the section regarding quantities. You're proposing equal amounts of wine and whiskey for, be traded per year. When more demand currently exists for former than the latter. If demand for whiskey doesn't exist in Rizia, we just have to find a way to create it. See, this is why I brought her along. Reopening trade channels to sell users whiskey? What a swindle. Nah. Is there another way we can rephrase this, Mr. President? Good catch, Miss Warner. We can change that section if you like. Quantity subject to the demand market. Demand in Rizia will skyrocket once Ellery Maroon hits the market. Trust me. So it's a trade, Your Majesty? Yeah. That you expect to see our bar serving Swordish whiskey when yeah, sure. Can we get get the real reason you're here? Trade deal. I think because she's here, she's changing the quantity subject to demand market. So I think it's fair to do the trade deal. I think it's fair. Yeah, sure. We can get the real reason why you're here. Elena flipped open her ledger and made a quick note. Thank you, Elena. I should have brought you along. I should not just like leave it to the guys. Excellent, Your Majesty. Yes, there is one more proposal we wanted to discuss. The yacht lingered at the mouth of Pana. As much as Solon most valued citizens will appreciate your wine, we believe there's something else you'll find even more stunning. He gestured at his surroundings, then down at the short-sleeved shirt he was wearing. Have you thought of Rizia's untapped tourism potential? Okay, many times. They're true diamonds in the rough. I know that for a long time. Okay, this one. Oh, it's ballet, Manger. Rhymes with ballet. Sorry, I never had the occasion to speak the name aloud. My point is that it might finally be time to bring your undeveloped short to life. I took the liberty of hiring a designer to draw this up. He reached inside the jacket pocket and pulled out a sheet of paper with a sketch on it. I recognized the beach it depicted. It was a picturesque stretch of sand in Monkis, not far from the palace where I grew up. Right on the coastline, the designer had placed a sprawling complex with a swimming pool and tennis court. On it was a sign, Coronti Resort Valencris. Our Taurus will not stand for this. No, I'm not bringing all this new money to Rizia. It's missing a private pier. Who's Coronti? Who's Coronti? Coronti. Coronti Resort Valencris. Can I close it? Valencris. Okay, Valencris here. This one, like, we'll just ask for, would that be the senior or the junior Coronti? You've done your research, I see. This is Marcel's initiative, along with the certain other members of Lotharbrook Group. Our partners are considering significant investment along Valencris coast. If all went out, the Coronti resort will only be the first step. Alfonso swirled the last drop of whiskey around his glass. I'm aware how your nobles see swordish oligarchs. I'm also aware that their world-renowned riches have diminished with each successive generation. Change is not merely inevitable, Your Majesty. It's the only way to preserve lifestyle to which you are also accustomed. Your grandmother stood there. Liza wouldn't have wanted a bunch of fat suburban Bulgarians blocking her ocean views, no offense. We don't need swans have to stay wealthy. I'm the king, the nobles will have no choice but to acquiesce. Okay. This one is a bit this is a bit of a conundrum. If we bring them in, economy is gonna be good. But at the same time, we're gonna have like soft power being pressured on us. Because I don't mind if we develop it our own, but since we are relying on Swordland, they might have a problem, because they might put their hands onto the scale, and that's gonna negatively impact us. Number 1 is out. Number 2 maybe. Number 3 also a maybe. Number 4, I really want to answer to number 4. Well said, Mr. President. My relative could use a good shock to the system. I think for now, just to play safe, we're gonna say I'm the king, the nobles will have no choice but to acquiesce. Wanna see how we say. So that's a yes on the proposal. Not so fast. Let me confer with Elena. As you wish, Your Majesty. The Swordish visitor wait outside, and Elena and I walk to the cabin to talk. So what do you think? If I may speak freely, I don't think it's a bad idea. Why not? You must remember that I'm from Valencris. I grew up just few minutes from those beaches, but it wasn't until I became a counselor that I had to pull to bring my family there. The resort wouldn't just open the Valencris coast to Swordland, it would open up to the rest of Rizia. True. We shall. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna have some outward influence, but I think it's worth. We step back out into the waning light and rejoin Alfonso and Cosmanger. Well, Your Majesty, you have a deal, but does the result have to be as gaudy as the one in the picture? I'm sure our architect can come up with something more subtle. In less than an hour, we accomplished more for our country than our predecessors managed in 30 years. Quite the feat indeed. I'll say that call for a celebration. Butler, another butler. His name is Pavel Adria. Show some respect. I stand corrected, Mr. Adria, if you will be so kind. Pavel reappeared, another bottle in his hand. He shot me a grateful look as he filled our glasses. The yacht began to turn towards Port Raison as the sun disappeared over the horizon. Because remember, Pavel was our friend. Okay? He's like our childhood friend. Like, although he may not be the you know, it's like an optional thing, but I do think that he would appreciate that. Oh, great! I just checked, and it seemed like it's still raining outside, and the rate goes up for the delivery. Okay, let's read those. Alka Springs Leisure Club closed amid homosexual revelation. Police in Montclair continue raid a so-called health retreat, Alka Springs Leisure Club, following a tip-off that the bathing facility is gathering for a local homosexual community. Several same-sex couples were indeed found in engaging. Yeah. Monkey's Port reports ship logjam. Nearly 30 container ships were caught in logjam by port monkeys yesterday. Many of them transporting goods around. Ooh, dang! Officials say this highlights the need to upgrade the facility. Yes, agree. I think this is also quite important because, like, if this doesn't improve, then our economy will take a hit as well. Azeroth's rebuke for conducting military exercise close to the Terrador border. The governor of Terrador has issued a stern rebuke to the Azeroth and Cardans Montclar. Yeah, that is a problem. We need to hold her. We need to bring her back. Monkeys. Conversation with Vena. It was low tide. The waves of Antasian sea lap at the sands below the cliffs of Monkeys. A trail was carved into the cliffside, just wide enough for a single horse. Vena picked up speed as she guided her mare Lizzie around a sharp curve. Vena, slow down! She glanced back at me for just long enough to roll her eyes. Meet you at the beach. I watched her fly down the trail. She thrown herself into horseback riding after Lena died. We kept a few horses in Port Raison as well, but Lizzie was her favorite. Did you forget what happened to your mom? We don't want to lose you again. I followed her at a leisurely pace, taking time to gaze back at the hill at Palace Monkeys. With Herbertus Toras governing the province from his own estate, I was free to visit my old home and its private beach anytime I liked. At the bottom of the trail was a sheltered cove where Pavel had laid a picnic lunch. I dismounted and sat down next to Vena. You really didn't have to come back to Monkeys with me, father. I wanted to. Council meetings don't exactly count as quality time together. I'm grateful for the break. It's too hectic in Port Raison. I wanted to. Council meeting. Deciding the fate of the country together, that screams quality time to me. I don't know how much we're handling. Sometimes I feel like it's out of our hand. My mother was right about a few things. It's not healthy to spend too long in those chambers. I think I can say that. It's not healthy to spend too long in those chambers. She picked up a lobster salad sandwich from the picnic basket and nibbled it. A solemn silence descended as we stared out at the waves. 8 years since she died. When I'm here, it might as well have been yesterday. You almost died too that day, you know. Sometimes I wish I had. I can't even dip my toe in the water or it'll all come rushing back. I looked out at the sea again. Let yourself remember. The memories rush over me. The sickening sound of the boat had made its girdle splintered, calling out for my wife over and over until my voice finally gave out. The beep of the hospital machine as I told Venna to say goodbye to her mother one last time. Was there anything I could have done to save her? In another timeline, was there 3 of us sitting on this beach instead of 2? Tears formed at the corner of my eyes. Don't resist. I started sobbing. Vina appeared at a loss for words. She gently put a hand on my shoulder. Sorry, father. I didn't realize it was still so fresh for you as well. You know what? Help out block this memory? A big Swedish resort right on the spot. Grief isn't a straight line, my daughter. It ebbs and flows like the tide. We got to move forward. Lena wouldn't have wanted to stay mourning for long. I think this is better. Grief isn't a straight line, my daughter. It ebbs and flows like the tide. It's always high tide for me, and I'm not sure I even want to come up for air. She wiped her ears. Eyes. Wipe her ears, what the hell? But you must be feeling the same about mother. Otherwise you would have been remarried by now. 8 years and not so much as a date. Don't be nice, I had dates, just nobody worth telling you about. If it's useless to try, I'll never love anyone else as much as I love your mother. It's a good thing that we chose to let ourselves fall in love with her. What's with the sudden interest in my love life? Well, she nervously picked up a handful of sand and let it run through her fingers. Say you were to meet someone. What if you had a son? Who would be your successor when you die? I still declare you in the next line. Rizia needs a queen like you. Actually, I wish I did a 5. I think what makes you think Rizia will be ruled by a monarch by the time I die? Okay, never mind. Let me just say to you, I still declare you next in line. Rizia needs a queen like you, and the rules were meant to be broken. Like Queen Liza said, the elder sibling should inherit the throne no matter their sex. Thank you, father. It means a lot to know all my preparation won't be for nothing. The tide was beginning to lap at the edge of our blanket. We stood up and pulled it away from the water. Father, one more thing. I'm not hungry right now. I'll eat my sandwich. What? Fine, you can bring Lizzie back to Port Raison, but you have to get rid of one of your other horses to make room for the stables. We can just ask what? It's just... Grandmother is always on about how I need to find the right husband. How important is it to you, really, who am I marrying? Why, do you have any candidates in mind? You're a princess, Vina. I don't care who you marry. Noble birth. Do you have any candidates in mind? No, but do you? Are you going to marry me off like your father did to you? My arranged marriage was the best thing that ever happened to me. You fixed me with a stare. You and mother were lucky to fall in love. Most such marriages are miserable. You want to be queen? This is part of it. A single wedding can accomplish more than 100 political conferences. Whether or not I love her, I did what I was ordered to. Relax. I might suggest a potential husband or two, but I'll never drag you to the altar. He looked relieved. I'm interested in hearing this suggestion. He hopped astride Lizzie. Sorry to run, but one of the countesses from my school days Has invited me for tea. Give me a second. Let me drink some water. Sorry to run, but one of my counselors from my school days has invited me for tea. She's just a few estates down the beach from here. Titus, send one of your men to keep an eye on her. My god. They are there! My god, appear from behind a rock. Sure thing, Your Majesty. I won't get into trouble, but I understand the need for protocol. He rode away. The trip back up to the palace felt a lot longer than the way down. It was dusk by the time I returned my horse to the stables. I staggered through the doorway of Palace Monkeys to my closet. Abel swiftly took my coat. Back so soon? I hope I packed enough food for you. Where's the princess? She's visiting an old friend, but she wanted to thank you for lunch. Monkey's lobster. It's never so sweet as when it's fresh out of the water. There's a warm bath waiting for you upstairs in case you're sore from the ride. You read my mind, Pavel. All part of the job. I made my way to Palace Monkey's master bedroom, where an enormous clawfoot tub was filled to the brim with soapy eucalyptus-scented water. I undressed and got in. Huh? Right arm. A tap came to the door, so soft I thought I was imagining it at first. Promise? Yes? May I come in? I forgot to leave you a towel. Alright, come in. Wait, is this gonna be... The door slowly opened and Pavel entered, a fluffy towel in his arms. He hung it on the hook on the wall. I noticed an identical towel on the hook next to it. Is there another reason you wanted to come in? He took a step closer to the tap, consciously keeping his eye on the wall. Actually, there was something I wanted to bring up, without any guards around. Sounds serious? It might be, it might not be. I'm not sure. There was a small stool next to the tub. He moved over to it and sat with his back to me. No need for modesty. Oh, pardon me. Pavel turned around, still taking care to look only at my face. He spoke the next word slowly. Sir Rom, how much have they told you about your father's death? Not a lot. Do you suspect something? Well, this is what I know. Back when my dad was still alive, he showed me every single plant in Palace Resna Garden. One of them was a mandragora. Big green leaves, pretty purple flowers. He told me you can make an extract from its roots. A little bit helps you sleep. More than that causes delirium. And a lot stops your heart. Wait. Are you trying to say what I think you're trying to say? He was poisoned? That's why he was very he's Valero the Frail? I think I see where this is going. It sounds preposterous, but when I attended to your father on his sickbed, it didn't seem like a man suffering from a heart failure. He was in a complete daze, as if he didn't even recognize me. After he died, I went out to the part of the garden where my father had planted the mandragora. Nothing but a smooth patch of dirt. When was the last time you saw the plants? A few months before that, maybe. I remember the flowers blooming. So yes, it's possible their disappearance had nothing to do with the king's death. Who was around the palace that night? The queen's mother, obviously, Grand Wiseman Ignatius, Titus and his men. Lucida Azaro was also in town, meeting with your uncle to discuss the interim security council position. Quite the list, not including me, of course. Could someone have slipped it into his supper? Evil grimace. I was tasting all of it, Majesty food at the time, so whoever it was would have to be very creative. If he was poisoned, the coroner would have caught it. Mandragora is a naturally occurring substance. It may not have raised a flag. Alright, let's say Father was indeed poisoned. What would be the motivation? We both know His Majesty had a long list of enemies, but the goal could simply have been to put you on the throne. Or I'm next. No matter what, I would urge you to look out for yourself. There were only a few people King Valero trusted by the end. If my suspicions are correct, it means one of them took advantage of the trust. Remember that even for the palace guard, okay, the like Titus guard, right? Okay, Titus guard was quite big, but had to be reduced thanks to, you know, mother's like intervention. Okay, who was it? Who was it? I can't see. I want to see it again. Like, it could be the mother. It could be. It could be the mother. It could be Azaro. Which one? Which Azaro? The father or? But then it's kind of weird though, because like Valero and Azaro, like Senior, both at the same time. So somebody take both of them out. Okay, I'm not sure. And of all those people are still in your inner circle today. I see. I'm going to have another have to look further into this. Yeah, potential investigation. What do you think I should do next? I wish I knew. Try to find out as much as you can without raising suspicion, I guess. Keep an ear out myself. Palace gossip gets around. Trust me, old friend. I always have your back. See, this is why like it's a good thing that just now we backed him up, like when they called Butler. But like his name is Pavel, and you better show respect. Speaking of backs, can you give me a scrub while you're here? With pleasure, my king. He took a warm, soapy washcloth and carefully ran it over my back and shoulders. I feel like the day's tension leaving my body. After a thorough soak, I dressed and headed to my study. I still had some work to go over before the trip's back. Okay. What's this? Read the report. Preparation underway for the 24th annual South Merkopa Friendship Day. Official warn of potential housing crisis. Oh, dang. Urban planning officials have warned us the lack of affordable housing for residents of Port Grazon. They cite a lack of rent control and landlords as well as shortage of available apartments for unhoused and low-income citizens as major problems. We need to increase that. Commission Toras family statutes. You know what? From what I see, number one is that we need authority. Okay? Number one is that we need authority. Then we can do any, like, without authority we can't do anything. So here, like, this too is like it's pretty dumb. Like it's either no need, or like, you know, the entire Toras family. There has been a proposition to erect statues across the nation in honor to the great legacy of House Toras. The choices are varied. One that honors Valero, another showcasing the late king aside his son Romus, or a grand portrait of the entire recent Toras lineage. Like either these two. So let's commission. Bye. Private audience with the Golden Guard. A crisp morning air filled my lungs as I crossed the palace courtyard with Hugo. I was headed to a long overdue meeting with Titus regarding the Golden Guard, and my uncle had insisted on accompanying me. It could be him though. I think that Valero trusted Hugo. Think. I'm glad you arranged a formal meeting with Captain Gordian. There's much to be gained in fostering a robust relationship. Agreed, there are substantial benefits to strengthening ties between us. I'm not sure what there's to be gained. Doubtful, I never formed a close relationship. Yeah, I think I see agree. More than you know, I believe the Golden Guard possesses an untapped potential that would prove quite advantageous should the need arise. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Captain Gordian can tell you more. Charlie is all that stands between me and Assassin's Bullet, and I know next to nothing about him. Be honest, Hugo. Do you believe Gordian can be trusted? He is without a doubt one of the most trustworthy individuals in the entire kingdom. Then I look forward to getting to know him better today. It wasn't long before we crossed the courtyard and reached the armory, which also served the Golden Guard headquarters. As we approached, a pair of soldiers flanked on either side of the entrance greeted us with a formal salute. Salute back. Hugo and I continued our way. Upon entering the armory, I found myself surrounded by a collection of old weaponry and armor on display. The polished shields and rusted swords appear in frozen time. We eventually reached a training facility where we found Captain Gordian in boxing gloves sparring with another Golden Guardsman. My money is on Captain Gordian. What do you say? 50. What do you say? 50 guilder? Uh. Yeah, I think my money's on Captain Gordian. Very well, let the best man win. The two men circled each other for a while before exchanging swings. 3 rounds later, the captain had Hugo's guy in a tight spot. It appears my man has the upper hand. I'm afraid you might be right. We continued watching the fight. Hugo's fighter landed a few more hits. Captain Gordian ultimately came out on top of it, thanks to a swift punch to the jaw. And Titus has emerged victoriously. It looks like I owe you. Guess I have a knack for picking winners. No doubt, a useful skill to possess. I watched Captain Gordian as help the other man to his feet. You're wasting too much energy running around the ring. Next time. Your Majesty, many apologies, I didn't see you there. You're earlier than I expected. No need to apologize. Just like in the ring, timing can be a challenge. Very true, sir. I must say that's quite the right hook you got there. In any case, let us take a leave. Okay, that's quite the right hook you got there. Courtesy of my former boxing days. Regardless, we should go. We got plenty to talk about. Very good, sir. If you come with me, I'll take you to somewhere more secluded. Captain Gordian removed his boxing glove as he headed towards the entrance of another wing of the armory. Well, Your Majesty, shall we? I believe the kind of trust you want me to build with the Golden Guard can only be established by meeting Titus one-on-one. Really? I mean, yes, of course. You can wait around until my business is over, but you're welcome to take your leave. I can wait around. Understood. He goes, oh, this might actually lead to the investigation. Hugo seemed to force a smile before bowing his head and turning away. I left my uncle and caught up to Captain Gordon as he stepped inside the building. Upon entering, I once again enveloped by an array of antiquated weaponry and armor. Titus motioned toward the displays. I brought most of this out of storage soon after I took command. A considerable portion of what you see was in bad shape and it required extensive refurbishment. I like what you've done with the place. I often found that focusing too much on memorizing the past can impede progress. Quite the arsenal you got there, Captain. Bows and arrows. Dr. Zara wasn't kidding when he said our military would need upgrading. Quite the arsenal. Believe me, this is just a fraction of what the palace has got tucked away. If you desire, I'll be honored to provide you with the background and history of anything here. Please, by all means. Excellent. Where would you like to start? Why don't you tell me about the sword? I motioned to a broadsword prominently displayed in the center of the room. Terrador's Fury. Its notoriety spans back several hundred years, just after Emperor Valgos seized Palace from Rizia. Although we lost our most important port, we managed to keep our enemy from making further inroads into the Kingdom of Battle of Terrador. This sword is said to be the very weapon that severed the head of the commanding general of the Valgos army. But it wasn't enough. It's considered bad luck deserves. It wasn't enough to prevent Palace from being taken away from Rizia. That's what kept me awake at night. It is indeed a sore spot in our history. If you would like, Your Majesty, I can have the sword polished for ceremonial use. That'll be great. Is there anything you were curious about? Armor. I pointed to an intricately adorned armored suit that stood out amongst the others. That would be the King of Romus Toras, the ancestor from whom all members of your house are descended. After securing the power in Monkis, his dynasty maintained a stronghold over the city-state throughout the Marquian era. On the foundation of Kingdom of Rizia, they assumed control over the entire province of Valankris. But I'm sure you all knew that already. Yes, but it's always good to refresh myself on our history. But as we like to know, whatever that is. I gestured toward a metallic coffin-like contraption that stood upright. That would be Saint Mercy, our aptly named Iron Maiden, a torture device from bygone era. It was last used on suspected spies during the last war of Rizian succession. Lined with spikes on the inside, it was designed to inflict excruciating pain when closed. You'd be happy to know it hasn't been used in quite some time. Hard to believe it was used at all. Not often. It was more to scare people, if anything. What can I tell you about? Enough history. I'm ready to move on. Very well. This way, sir. We continued onward until we reached Captain Gordon's office on the far side of the hall. It too was adorned with a large collection of war memorabilia. Captain Gordon gestured a sitting area. Please have a seat. Sit. I sat on the nearby leather armchair. The captain took out a bottle of wine from a cabinet. Would you care for some fortified wine? It's an exceptional vintage dating back to 1893 from our very own Cantuovo vineyards. The fact that you consider drinking on the job is professionalism. You had me at would you care for some wine? Just a little bit, gotta stay sharp. Of course. Captain Gordon uncorked the bottle and poured us each a glass. Then putting it away, he settled in a chair across from me. So what do I owe the pleasure of your visit? I'm looking for a clearer understanding. I want to make sure. Okay, this one because we do want to earn his trust, so might as well say this. I'm looking to develop a clearer understanding of the individual comprising my security detail, particularly the man who's leading them. Well, I'm more than happy to tell you about myself, though you might find hearing about the Golden Guard more interesting. Why don't you tell me more about yourself? Well, I was born and raised in Port Grazon. My father was in the military while my mother took care of me and my siblings. I had a family normal childhood until my father was killed during the operation to take back Palace. I'm sorry for your loss. Didn't mean to bring up bad memories. Not a problem, sir. He died fighting what he believed in. Needless to say, his death brought about a long period of financial instability. My mother did what she could, but it wasn't enough. They put on a pair of gloves and entered the World Championship boxing to provide for my family. Well, that explained the first account from earlier. You fared well, I assume. Okay, number 2 is the best. Good enough to catch the eye of military recruiters. I do sometimes miss those days in the ring on occasion. But anyway, not long after my mother died, I worked my way up to the Golden Guard to the point where I was entrusted with leading the operation. Golden Guard. I'm honored. As you already know, every man here has sworn an oath to protect the royal household. We answer to no one else but you. And I'm forever grateful. Please continue. Gladly, aside from the general security, the Golden Guard has a long history of carrying out more private matters for the king. Elaborate. As in offensive operation, if you get my meaning. Edis has stated a moment before continuing. The Golden Guard has had a long, rich history. Since our founding, we engage in espionage, apprehension, and eliminating threats to the crown. But in the wake of our revival, we have yet to involve ourselves in such affairs. Nevertheless, the chance to fully restore our action remains open. I heard rumors of such clandestine action, but this is the first time I have received official confirmation. If what you're saying is true, then I'm truly shocked. I find the notion of organization working outside the rule of law worrisome. Okay. Number 1. Secrecy is the utmost important to us. Your comprehensive explanation is appreciated. I'm glad I could provide you further insight. Is there anything else you'd like to know? Is it possible, hypothetically speaking, for the Golden Crown to support the crown in a murder investigation? I just didn't blink. If we were granted resources, such an investigation would not be out of the question. Would you care to elaborate? Such an investigation might require conducting surveillance within palace walls. Understood. The guard would definitely be the best option for such sensitive undertaking. Do you have eyes on me all the time, even during intimate moments? It is our utmost aim to protect the royal family security while respecting your privacy. You can expect that we'll be watching you and your family members in public, standing guard outside any room you enter. But what you do in that room is no business of ours. Ooh, and if I want you to watch me. That sounds strong. I think maybe we can ask them if they want you to watch me. Do you have any other question? What do you deem to be the biggest threat to my personal safety right now? I just looked around and turned back to me. Your government security forces seem to have handle on the populace, but who has a handle on them? I don't want to overstep on my bounds so early into my employ, but I do believe that Azeroth could pose a threat. Share a suspicion. If you uncover even the slightest evidence that the family is plotting against me, I want to know. You're not worried about the Saisons? Yeah, it's kind of weird that, that King Valero and the Azaro family head die at the same time. I want to check on her. I'll try to keep a close eye on them with the limited resources the Golden Guard has been given. That'll be all. If there's anything else I could do for you, don't hesitate to ask. Thanks for your hospitality. I just gave a heartfelt bow and left my company. Navigating through the armory once more, I eventually found my uncle in the vicinity of Titus' boxing match. There you are. I trust your discussion with Titus was productive? Very. It was... It was actually. I think that I misjudged the captain. I'm pleased to hear it. I won't overstep my bounds by asking the nature of your chat, but however, to provide you with optimal guidance, I propose sharing such information with me going forward. Yeah, because I do feel like Hugo could be one of the person as well. I still wasn't fully sold on whether or not Titus could be trusted, but I was satisfied knowing that my influence over him remains strong. For now. Are you really saying that it could be like Titus and Hugo working together? Like, he's very sus. Never saw all field support. Has been shut down following the exhaustion of its reserve. Experts advise that our kingdom concentrate on natural gas resources in order to fill the energy gap. We need to do something about that. Save the Arufeld campaign asks for support. The Morella-based non-profit Save the Arufeld is making a campaign pollution Arufeld water. They claim the river has been contaminated by heavily acidic wastewater runoff from the Mephium trade zone. They are asking for trade zone during Rizia for financial support. Don't donate. A bit too much. Damn! I screwed up. Maybe I should have donated. Okay, let's make it support. Only Lesbia refusing to donate the cause. The coalition expressed gratitude to countries that donated, as well as individuals from smaller donors. Yeah, at least now they're not against us. Revolutionist Malavist propaganda ban. Books, magazine, and pamphlet of Malavist countries such as United Continental, Volksland, Garland has been reaching our shores. These seemingly innocuous reading materials have the potential to lead to socialist spread of socialist throughout among the populace. Oh. Damn, this is quite dangerous. Like, I think 2 is out. 2 is out. Ban all Milanevist propaganda. I don't feel like that's a good idea because like it's just gonna stoke flames. But if we ignore it, then maybe like, it's not gonna be a big problem. I hope. Ignore it. In 2 hours though. We'll go a little bit further. Just a moment. Let me check. I want to buy my dinner. It's already like 9:45. Man, that's like damn expensive. Let me double check. That's a lot. Okay. I think I can just wait. Friendship Day. Ah, Friendship Day. Oh my god. I don't want to deal with Wacklin now. Tax credit for business. Ooh, this is tax credit for business. Wait. The kingdom bestows notable tax credit to businesses, aiming to invigorate the economic landscape. This strategic decision intended to spur innovation and encourage domestic investment. Industries and entrepreneurs across Rizia stand poised to benefit, yet there's palpable concern about potential strains on the national treasury. However, proponents believe a long-term economic momentum will more than compensate. Yeah, I think that's good. We need to get some tax credit. We need to like generate income. Ooh, dang. Okay, okay. Republic of Lesbia, what is this here? Lesbia Prime Minister Patricia Alvarez has strong warning increasing malicious activity in the region. While not naming Rizia by name, the PM said that certain countries are blind to the danger of Malayanism and propaganda. Dangerous ideas like this should not be allowed to spread. Jersey. Special Forces Division. We need this, man. Ensure rapid response of emerging threats. It is proposed to establish a dedicated Special Force Division. This elite unit to be specialized, honed in operation in the unique terrain and high-stakes scenarios. By tailoring their training and equipment, the aim is to optimize their effectiveness and diverse conditions and challenges. Paratrooper. Okay, okay. I think we need to sell. Ooh. Okay, we're gonna sell military equipment. Now we have a little bit of money. I think we need this. We need this to find out more oil. And then let me see what else can we do. I want to have a little bit of money. Okay. Yeah, I think we can sell more. Look at that. We do have extra. Okay. Second batch. Okay. Okay, what time is it now? 9:50. Okay, we'll just go with this. I couldn't tell if the sky was growing darker or it was just the tinted windows of the armored car. Our motorcade slowed as it approached the steel border. A concrete barrier rose up in front of us, its top strung with barbed wire. My mother had insisted on accompanying me to the Waxat Rizzian friendship and festivities. She leaned against the windows, uncharacteristically quiet. I shouldn't talk with Pavel about Pavel with her. Are you alright, mother? I'm absolutely fine, darling. Say, might we have time for a quick detour once we reach town? Of course. She leaned towards and gave the driver an address. She nodded. At the border, we presented our identification document and the official invitation from President Smolak. As we crossed, the road turns uneven. Promise you, promise me you'll get these highways back up running once Zil is returned. It's at the top of my list. Factory smokestacks rose up on either side of us. So the haze, I spotted numerous shanty towns built over the past few years to house miners and refining workers. We entered the city and drove on through a maze of tenements building, their facades hastily repainted to hide the damage from the war 20 years ago. As my mother had instructed him to, the driver veered down to a side street that led to the coast. We stopped in front of a small wooden building with a collapsed roof. The front porch was partly buried in sand. Jagged teeth and broken glass lined the window frames. They say you can't go home again. Rarely do they mean this literally. She blinked back tears. I can't believe this is the same house we used to go to every summer. She put a hand on my shoulder. I never brought my parents here after they fled to Rizia. I knew it would break their hearts. I wish I could see it one last time, the way it used to be. I thought back to my carefree summers in Zil. My grandparents had spent the last 10 years of their lives in Palace Resna, surrounded by luxury, but they never seemed as happy as they did in this house. You did everything you could do for them. They should be grateful. I'll have it fixed up one day. It'll be our summer home again. That ship has sailed, child. Just think, if I hadn't convinced Valera to get Wacklin involved in our affairs, none of this would have happened. Wait. Remember, this is when we were kidnapped. So she kind of like urged, please save our son. Please save Romus. So in a sense, it is your fault. And she felt the guilt for it. She looked down at her hands. The Wezek president back then was such an upstanding man. How could I have known he would go and get himself killed? If he was so upstanding, he wouldn't have agreed to stomp out the democratic revolution. It's not your fault. Father should have renegade on the agreement. It was a period of instability across all Empire. You were playing with fire. Would you have done differently if Vina was in danger? They both fell silent. After a few moments, she plastered a smile on her face. That's why I went for like paratroopers. Okay? I could go for the Marines in the beginning of the game, but going for paratroopers I think like will provide a better option. Enough letting driver step on it. We got a date with a psychopath. We returned to the main road and drove towards Smolak Square, a circular plaza in the center of town that had once been named after Duke Fado Saison. A silver stretch limousine was parked just in front of the square. Our driver stopped and we exited the car, flanked by our guards. Say what you want about Smolak, he never make a dull entrance. A dozen uniformed soldiers hurriedly got into formation around us and the limo. The door opened, and Victor Smolak stepped up. Your Majesty King Romus, Queen Mother Estella. He made a sweeping, exaggerated bow and straightened up with a grin. Mr. President, I wish I say I was happy to be here. Thank you, Mr. President. Just keep it balanced. Who is this Mr. President? Call me Victor. We're friends, right? He gestured out at the square where a colorful banner reading 24 years of Waxac Rizian friendship hung above the trio of gleaming tanks. Yes, nothing similar in French like heavy artillery. Looks impressive. Where do you get the tanks? I so want to talk about this. I so want to talk about this. I've been wanting to speak to you about the terms of this friendship. I think like if we just like, without that, this is my like want to say because I don't want to anger him, but at the same time like maybe we can talk. Should we put our foot down? I think later hopefully that it will come out again, okay? Rizia isn't Wekland's only friend, Your Majesty. The squares is surrounded by grandstands. One side is decorated in the colors of Wekland's flag, the other is in Rizia's blue, orange, and gold. I heard loud cheers emanating from them. I invited a fun representative from both our countries to join us in this special occasion. Follow me if you will. Semi-circular stage was set up in front of the tanks. The crowd roared as we crossed the square and made our way over to it. Looking over to the grandstands, I noticed armed guards standing on every level. A captive audience, that would explain enthusiasm. Dusting this whole ceremony is a sham. My mother and I took our seats. Victor step up to the microphone. Vaxit, Rizians, people of Zell, 2,000 years ago, the glorious country of Wekland was given custody over this land, a great honor and tremendous responsibility. Wekland didn't only gain new territory that day, we gained new friends. This is why, like I say, if like I'm given a choice, I'll definitely cut off like Wekland. This guy is a maniac. I feel like he's modeled after like the movie The Dictator. Like if you watch that, who's like acted by Sacha Baron Cohen. I wouldn't be surprised if like they are parallel to each other, you know? He gestured meaningfully toward Rizian's side of the stands. A few moments they broke out in scattered applause. My mother muttered a harsh-sounding curse in Zil dialect. Why we're supposed to play nice, remember? Because play nice until we get back Zil. Play nice until we get back Zil. Okay? Because remember, Wekland have a lot of oil, okay? And that comes along with money, okay? If we want to fight, like easy to say, we should choose our fights. We should bite our tongue and grit our teeth. At this moment, we're supposed to play nice, remember? Together, we have overcome war, repaired our economy, and repaired our economy. Did you not see what you did to this place? And made great strides in science and industry. Even the decision of Toras family to ally with every single line pisses me off. A nation that obviously wishes Wekland harm could not diminish the beautiful bond we have formed. Mom! I want to slap him in the face right now. He looks like he has such a slappable face, you know? I look forward to strengthening that bond for many, many years to come. He stepped to the side and pulled a rope attached to the flagpole. A massive Wessex flag unfurled, then a much... Grit your teeth. Let Victor finish his... He stepped to the side. Okay. I sat back in my chair and kept silent. Today, I am especially delighted to be blessed by the presence of Rizia's new king, as well as the Queen Mother, of course. They are heirs to a long, proud legacy, one that would have been shattered had Wekland and Rizia not made the fateful decision to work hand in hand. On that note, please give a warm welcome to King Romus Toras. Grit your teeth. Also, like now, like I can see, like if we become too prideful, like without a doubt, the people in Zil are gonna love, and gonna like, wow, finally somebody is stepping up for us. But for the past 20 years, under the rule of this madman, we've been stomped upon. But with that, it comes with unnecessary like fight. I'm not saying pride is not important. I'm just saying that if we, they've already suffered enough. Like, we have to like swallow our pride. Hopefully they understand this as well. Okay? Because sometimes, even that you are doing something right, like it may appear to people you're not doing the right thing. So, grit our teeth. Thank you, President Smolak. Stand before you at the dawning of a new era. The reign of King Romus Toras is over. I think this is okay. Okay, because at least with this, like, basically saying, hey, you can come back. We're not gonna sell you off again. You may not know it, but I'm the grandson of Zil. The Queen Mother and I have deep ties to this land. Ooh, this is good. It is an honor to be here in Zil of the anniversary of the historic treaty. 3 now. I think number 2 is the best. It is painful when my father signed away this beautiful part of Rizia. Yet, I know what's for the... Ooh, do not say that, do not say that. Today marks a chance to make a clean break with the past and begin looking forward to the future. Okay? You're not hurting the other side, but at the same time, you're giving hope to the people. I'll never... Oh. Like I say, grit your teeth, grit your teeth. I know none of residents here today have asked for their homeland to become. Grit your teeth, grit your teeth. Today marks a chance to make a clean break. Okay, in 1 year, Rizia will resume governorship of Zil, but I hope that will not mean an end to our country's friendly cooperation. Grit your teeth. I command victors from no. The past years have not been easy for any of you, but the time will soon come and when we are reunited. I think 3 is better. 3 is the best so far. I've come here to send victors more like a warning. This is definitely gonna go to war. Okay, 3 for me. I think 3 is the best. Like, we give hope to the people of Zil. Remember, we're gonna rile up Zil, and hopefully, like, even if we have to fight, even if we have to, we have to contest, we can hope for, like, an election, and the people believe in us, rather than going to war. I pledge to support Rizians and Wazet alike through the upcoming peaceful transfer of power. Maybe. I know that I can count on President Wackland. No. As ATO encroaches on the continent, no. I pledge support to Rizians and Wazet alike through the upcoming peaceful transfer of power. Glorious Aksa Rizia. Glory to Rizia. Echoed the Rizian side of the stand. Victor gave me an appraising glance, then readjusted the microphone. What a speech! The king's got charisma. We have a terrific evening of entertainment lined up, but first, we must commemorate this landmark meeting of world leaders with a traditional triple tank salute. What the There was a rumbling from behind of us as the three tanks aimed their barrels into the air. My mother and I looked at each other. Sure, after you, Mr. Smolak. A Victor Smolak special. Okay, Victor raised a finger up in the air. 1. The tank on the left fired sending a plume of gold-colored smoke high over the stand. The crowd gasped in excitement. 2. The smoke mounted on the tank on the right went off. This time the smoke was magenta. 3. His count was interrupted by an identified voice in the distance, shouting, "For the king!" Victor whipped his head around in shock, a frenzied look in his eye. I turned to my mother. "Mother, what happened?" I do. A deafening blast, much louder than the two had proceeded in echo in the opposite end of the square. I turned toward the source of the sound and saw Wazek's side on the stands engulfed in flames. Wazek Estella. Your Majesty, what's happening? Security breach, sir. Victor stood beside us on the podium, his own gun drawn. He was surrounded by a thick cordon of Wazek guards. We've got to get you out of here. He and Smolek's guard exchanged a series of hand signals. The crowd began fleeing in every direction. Titus grabbed my arm and swiftly started ushering me away. I took one last look back. Smoke was now rising from the Wazek grandstand. Part of the structure had collapsed. Oh God, I say grit your teeth. Don't. And soldiers were working to free the people trapped underneath. The next few moments were a blur as we made our way through the panicked portal civilian. Victor's limo pulled up and Titus roughly shoved me inside. Thank God you're safe. My mother's voice shook. She and Victor were sitting across from me, looking dazed. Are you hurt? Of course she isn't. It seemed like no Rizian was harmed. Had fire in his arm. If your people have anything to do with this, there will be a price to pay. Ooh, this one here, I feel like I should load. And basically like, run to the Wetland side. I kinda knew that something like this would happen. Are you alright? Wait. I kinda like got a feeling like she's feeling guilty, right? Why don't we just try and ask about why don't we talk about the theory, you know? Let's see. Interesting talk with Pable recently. I'm glad you two are too close. Was father acting out of the ordinary the night of his death? Any more of the ordinary than ordinary, you mean? No, he went to bed early, as he'd been doing for months, a symptom of old age for some. Why'd you ask? People think father was poisoned, and they say butlers have no imaginations. Your father had long lists of enemies and equally long lists of safeguards against them. His worries were what stopped his heart. He folded her arms and was silent for a while. Okay, it could be that she's the one from this. Okay, the whole reason we are loading back is because like he suspects us. So we're gonna do the same, just the last thing, like not protect Estella, but we rush to the stand. Fix it up one day. It's not your fault. Father should have reneged on the agreement immediately after the assassination. Not your fault. Okay. And made outright enemies of Wetland while on our own country was still weak. Don't be foolish. We both fell silent. After a few moments, she plastered a smile on her face. Enough dallying. Thank you, Mr. President. Looks impressive. Where do you get those tanks? Disgusting. Supposed to play nice. Let him finish his speak. Rise. Thank you. Grandson of Zeal. Clean break. Right to support. After you, Mrs. Molek. Is that part of the program? I don't. Oh. Run towards the stands. Your Majesty, get down! Titus dove at me and tackled me to the ground. Screams of fear and confusion were rising from all around. Where's Smolak? Romus! My mother and Victor were still on the podium, surrounded by a thick cordon of Wexec guards. Get over there, Titus. They'll be fine. We have to get you out of here. He and Smolak's guard exchanged a series of hand signals. The crowd began fleeing in every direction. Titus grabbed my arm and swiftly started ushering me away. Smoke is now raising for Wexec Grandstand. Okay, this one, I think it's the same. Are you hurt? Smolak has fired his eye. If your people have anything to do, there will be a price to pay. He kept his eyes on me as the car began pulling away. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's it for today. Okay, maybe we read this. Wexec Intelligence had released a preliminary report on Friendship Day bombing incident. Wexec Intelligence had released a thorough accounting of the events of Wexec Rizia and Friendship Day. The explosion is said to have been caused by a detonation device planted under the grandstand and timed go off during the afternoon celebration. Part of the stands collapsed in the blast, killing 3 Wexec civilians and injuring further 14. Witnesses at the event heard the phrase "for the king" prior to the blast, supporting political motivation and the involvement of pro-Rizia supporters. Russian intelligence forces have indicated that the group Fucking idiot. You fucking idiot. Why did you move to Omina here? Oh my god. We were like gritting our teeth. You fucking idiot. We do not have the... Why are you trying to bring extra pain, you dumb? Yes, they have ridiculed us. Yes, they have been, they have been like humiliating us. But we're not strong enough yet. Wackland have tons of oil. They can buy whatever ammunition they want. You idiot. Now if you want to take back Zil, we have to go into war. Why did you... I want to ban Sue Omina, but we have to accompany with Sue Omina along with like an explanation. Like you think that for them, like, oh, pride is very important. Yeah, but our lives matter more. Like once we get back Zil, we can rebuild that area again. But look at what you did. Dang. Okay, and now is another thing, is that in the original game, like the color of the land refers to like how prosperous they're doing. Okay, I don't know if this one is that, because I do remember like earlier this part is like still green. Okay, This spot is still green a bit. Well, maybe half of it. Okay, Valencris is still green. But these two haven't changed. Now it's a bit red. Is like, I'm not sure whether it like to symbolize the three houses or like the economic prosperity. I wish they would have highlighted that. Now we gotta deal with something bigger. Oh my god. I was like hoping like grit our teeth and like take back Bill without much of a problem. But from the looks of it, we have to like go through like some pain for this. Why? Why do you do this? Oh well. Okay, so today this is where we'll end. Okay. Tomorrow we'll pick this up. Okay, like I say, like I want to keep it like within 2 hours. Okay, this is like 2.5 hours plus. Okay, so it's a good time for us like to end. Tomorrow we'll pick up. Okay, and let's just hope Zill will be returned back to us. Let's just hope for that. Okay, I hope that you know that madman will not like blame us, although it is kind of like it is not our fault. It is Sue Omina's fault. If they didn't do that, things would be easy. I seriously want to block them. Okay, that's it for today. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, and hopefully we don't go into war. That's my worst case scenario. My second worst case scenario will probably be, well, he's definitely gonna be like reneging on his like he's definitely gonna be reneging on like returning Zill back to us. But since we also have the ATA, wait a second, where is it? Since we have the ATA operation in active in Zill, so this is probably gonna like, you know, make the people support us. And then if we're gonna go into like contests like, hey, Zill belongs to us, no, it belongs to Westland, then I do hope that it becomes like rather than war, we guide it into like a democracy and voting. Okay, and okay, sorry about that. I'm just entered. Okay, so like I say, the problem, like we'll try to like steer them down to the path of like democracy. Okay, that's what I'm planning. Okay, and I can still see it goes into like a war, but at least we have the justification on our side. Okay, so that's it for now. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and allow me to take my dinner, even though it's 10 p.m. Okay, so see you tomorrow. Bye bye.